Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Fish and Sofchan here to put a bow on the NECC Spring League of Legends season. Sofchan, can you believe we're done? It's Grand Finals week. How did we get here?
How did we get here? Oh my god, Fish, finally being able to crown the champions, the victors of Spring NECC here on League of Legends. We're going to be hosting some Navigators League today, so very fun that we're going to be able to get those teams onto the screen if they haven't been on the broadcast throughout the playoffs and the regular season.
As you said, it is Navigators Mid-East. King's College take on Misericordia Cougars, and funny enough, these teams played all the way back at the start of the season in week 1, Sofchan. I don't remember that week. I don't know if they remember that week, but we'll have to see. It's the 1 seed in King's College, undefeated 8-0, take on Misericordia, the 2 seed, who's 6-2. So should be a very good game. I think the Pro Draft is just wrapping up now, but that one key difference, though, Sofchan, as you and I learned, this is a best of 5, not a best of 3. Stamina, fatigue, all going to be a little bit more important than those best of 3s we played in the regular season.
That might come as a shock. It's a best of 5. Not to me. I'm definitely aware of that. We have come into the grand finals preparing for that best of 5. So let's have a look at the rosters, Fish.
Yeah, let's take a look, starting with King's College. The number 1 seed, undefeated. We've got Famous Globe, Christian, Volt Abyss, Souls, and Gub is dead down in the support role. Again, this team 8-0, pretty much running through the competition. A lot of 2-0s in this match history, so they definitely come in as the heavy favorites here. Let's take a look at their opponent, Misericordia.
Yeah, let's have a look at Misericordia Cougars coming in on 6-2 on the Spring NECC League of Legends. On their top lane, they have Saintly Comic, then Miscreant, Oxen, 9876, the Mist 4, and Sketchy Pepperoni on the support row.
Team for Misericordia, they got a massive roster. Curious to see if maybe in the grand finals, do you stick with what got you here? Do you maybe make a sub if things aren't going too well? I'm very curious to see, but Sofchan, as we get ready to see the draft here between these two teams, again, Navigators, Mid-East, grand finals here. We've got one more match after this, so we'll be crowning at least 2 champions on stream here tonight, but what are you looking for in the grand finals? Anything different than the regular season, or do you think it's just same as always for these teams?
I think being the best of 5, it just changes everything, Fish. Teams just get an extra pressure coming out for just the name, the title of Grand Finals, and because you have much longer series. You're used to getting, if you are King's College, you're used to getting 2 hours there of games in a row because they have gotten various 2-0s throughout the season, and you're coming into a place where you're at least going to play at least 3 hours if you go for a sweep, if your team has the capacity to go for a sweep. So if Misericordia Cougars can bring to the table more than King's College can expect, we are going to see 4 hours plus even of League of Legends tonight. So that is a lot that these players have to keep in mind, and I'm sure that they have been preparing thoroughly for this moment.
All right, look, all you gotta do is play 3 solo queue games, and they feel like it takes 6 hours. I'm sure these guys are ready to go. But no, I think you're right. I think the fatigue, especially for King's College, you said 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. They're probably done in an hour sometimes. And we've seen very quick series. So we'll hop into the game 1 draft. We'll have to see. We're coming in blind as well. The Pro Draft took us by surprise, Sofchan, so we'll see what we got. And we're gonna start off with the order. There's no shot you ban Master Yi in the Grand Finals.
Well, what is happening on our screen here? King's College on the red side taking their first ban. I repeat, not any ban, not the last ban, not a random ban. The first ban of the game, of the series. And it is a Master Yi. On the other side, Misericordia going for a Vega. Both of them looks very targeted aside from their own, don't you think?
Yeah, those both have to be target bans. Again, these teams played back in week 1. We didn't get a chance to see it. Maybe there was a pop-up vote for that Master E. The Victor feels a little bit more standard. He's been up and down in the meta. The Urgot also feels like a targeted ban. This is we want to ban what we either saw in the regular season or what we saw last time we played against these teams, because these are not meta bans, as you said, outside the...
Oh, hello, dog. Who let the dogs out? That is the question. Fish? Well, I will say though, even though King's College brought out the Master Yi for the first ban, they have the Olaf as their first pick here for the top lane. That is super solid. We have been seeing how well it can perform, how much it gets the other team suffering for a cut healing item on their side. So we'll see how that's going to go out as the Jarvan is going to be facing the Hecarim on the jungle.
I'd be really curious if that Nasus was actually a counter pick to the Olaf, because the Wither isn't awful as that attack speed reduction to kind of slow down what that Olaf wants to do, which is one in, just right click, pop the W. So I don't think it's an awful pick. I think the big reason I was a little stunned is Nasus, as any League of Legends player knows, so easy to counter, right? Deny the last hits. It's basically a giant cannon minion late game. So I'm very curious how Faithless Globe will play it. And we do get an Aurelion Sol. I know we saw him a lot right when that rework came out. Don't think we've seen him since Riot has kind of toned him down. I'm really curious to see how Oxen does in the mid lane, because I really think we've seen Echoes popping off as we get into that second ban, and looks like they clearly wanted to ban the mid lanes here.
They do. They're going for a Fizz. They're going for a Silas. Nothing different than ordinary. You're going to focus the second round of ban on those hyper carries. The Misericordia Cougar squad goes for the Anivia. Also a champion that is not widely played, so could be a targeted ban alongside with the Karthus. I think we both have casted a Karthus mid, I think, at one point, maybe last week or the week before, something along those lines. So I'm not very shocked, to say the least. But we have arrived into the second phase of the picks. I got very worried about that. I even almost lost my speech there, but it's fine. We got King's College finishing up with a Misfortune in a Blitzcrank in the bot lane. Combos so well with the Aurelion Sol and the Jarvan for mid stages, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think already Jarvan and Misfortune, that alt combination, I think we've seen games where you just Cataclysm into the Misfortune alt and it is just GG. As you said, the Aurelion Sol's a great pairing. The Blitzcrank, a very interesting one. I think that Gub is Dead does a great job on that Maokai. It sort of counters the Blitzcrank and to prevent him from really getting easy hooks. If you jump in on top of that Blitzcrank, he's not going to have an easy way to hook your backline. Of course, the Ezreal counters as well with basically the free break if you time your Arcane Shift right. So I think for as weird as the bans were, as weird as that Nasus top was, everything else I think is very solid for these teams. Again, I'm just very worried that Faithless Globe is going to come into that 20, 30 minute mark with like 100, 200 stacks if Misericordia plays it correctly.
Yeah, that is very true. You got to be very careful on how you're gonna bring the Nasus into the game. As you said, lonely wolf, lonely dog on that island up top. On the rest of the map, you have, for King's College, the Echo being a potential threat to the bot lane, a potential threat. Not that much to the top lane, but definitely something that is going to be super self-sufficient against the Aurelion Sol in the mid stages of the game. If you get the early pressure from the Hecarim, that could be crucial to get a lead. In the bot side, I would say the Ezreal so safe is going to be super important to have those blinks in regards to escape for the hooks against the Blitzcrank. With the Misfortune, she can deal a lot of raw damage in the beginning of the game, especially if she can split her attacks. It's going to be one hit on the ADC, one hit on the support, which is, I believe, the only ADC in the game that benefits from not targeting just one person in the bot lane. Sometimes that can be the doom of a bot side, but not this one. So we'll see how that's going to be played out, because the Maokai can definitely protect the Ezreal quite a bit.
And I'm curious how Misericordia the one thing that their comp does kind of confuse me a little bit on Subchain is you have the Olaf, who we talked about, he's going to want to go in. The Jarvan's going to want to go in. The Blitzcrank wants to pull somebody back to your team. So I'm a little curious, is it going to be, we'll hook someone in and engage from there? Will it be Blitzcrank kind of runs in, tries to start the fight? That's the one thing where it feels like that Blitzcrank probably could have been maybe something like a Nautilus, something like a Thresh who's kind of going to go forward, because if you hook someone as Jarvan ults in, now all of a sudden your Jarvan's just kind of standing there wondering where the rest of the team went.
Not just that, sometimes you can end up getting a hook and the Jarvan going in with a targeted ulti on someone close to your ADC, and then suddenly there's a Cataclysm just getting all escape routes away from your ADC, and you don't want that to happen. So I definitely agree with you there, Fish. You gotta be very careful on how you call out the shots. Who is going to be the priority for the engages? Is it going to be the Blitzcrank? Is it going to be the Jarvan? On the other end, you have a team that feels very solid and just safe overall. The Echo, very safe in the mid lane, even though he is a mage, he is melee, he has the time refresh with the ulti, the gap closures, the dashes, so everything at his disposal to have a good time in regards to reaching level 6, getting roams around, and getting the pressure around the map where Hecarim can't be, or sometimes along with the Hecarim as well to overpower any lane that they come across. So I think on the side of King's College, they have something more straightforward, whereas Misericordia is going to be looking for, okay, what is the plan? We have to follow the lead of someone. We can't have everyone talking at the same time and misplaying, mismatching those engages.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. I think, as you said, King's College comp on paper. Hey, I want to go in. All right, go for the Maokai. I mean, he's going to be tanking up. If he just wants to go in with the Echo and the Hecarim, and the Nasus is just going to sit there with the Ezra, I think you're right. I think King's College definitely has the... If they are the more skilled team, which again, 8-0, you'd think maybe on paper they have that easier comp. Maybe that's why Misericordia went with something a little bit more tactical, a little bit more thoughtful. You got to plan out, but we'll have to see. Again, a best of 5 to crown the champion of the Navigators Mid-East Division is about to kick off. King's College, the 1 seed, Misericordia, the 2 seed. We're about ready to go here for game number 1. And Sofchan, I know we have a couple more games left, but this is the final stream. I'll get to ask you, who do you got in game number 1?
I think both teams come with a lot of experience, a lot of maturity that has been earned and learned all throughout the season. It's not that different, the 8-0 from King's College, from the 6-2 from Misericordia Cougars, because there were a couple of forfeits for both sides, and because of that, you get a little bit of advantage in the overall score. But at the end of the day, both teams had plenty of sweeps, plenty of 2-0s, and that is going to be a lot to put on the table and work for in this first game of the series. Being a best of 5, you gotta be prepared, and I'm sure both of them are. I am not going to be biased against anyone right now. I'm going to wait, Fish, for at least this final game, this first game, to be finished, and then we can start drawing some conclusions.
You've caught on to me. I don't like this. You don't like me. You've caught on to my ways. But here we go. Game number 1. Let's see what we can learn from both sides. As we've got right now Misericordia here in the red side, predicting an invade, which is interesting. Usually you'd like to maybe be the invaders, be the aggressor with this Blitzcrank, but they don't want to make any risky moves, and it doesn't look like either team going to cross that river midline.
Yes, I believe that maybe just whenever they see someone, they might go for a hook. They're being very cautious, and I appreciate it. They know they are coming against a team that is 8-0 in the season, so that's going to be a lot of pressure on that plate. They're going to go very sneaky. Oof. Oh, what? Excuse. Oh, no, they didn't try to dodge it.
They just blind. If that ward goes down, I think they kill at least. Yeah, they doesn't have a flash on the Nasus. They just tried to blind hook it, and unfortunately, Sketchy Pepperoni just barely misses. But they do get the ghost out of it. I think anything to make this Nasus easier to gank is going to be a win. I would not be shocked if Miscreant even tries to go up level 2, get a gank now that that ghost is on cooldown. Because again, a Nasus that can farm is by far one of the scariest champions in League of Legends. He'll just walk up to your AD carry and slowly down smash him. So being able to deny that farm is going to be massive.
Yeah, and especially because you have a Misfortune on your side. She has no mobility whatsoever, no escapability, and just by getting any attacks on her, she's going to be slowed down. You even have the curse there from a Fainted Globe on the Nasus, slowing them down even more. So I think it's exactly as you said, Fish. If you get this Nasus going, they're going to be a true menace to Misericordia Cougar's squad, even against the Aurelian Soul as well. But the top lane 1v1 still looks kind of favorable for Saintly Comic because of that Olaf advantage in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, Saintly Comic has basically just been forcing Faithless Globe back. That was Faithless Globe's first CS of the game. I do believe he still got the stack on it, but he is falling behind. Farming under tower going to be a little bit harder. You see right there, misses another one, and that's kind of the micro you got to play here. You've got to punish this Nasus, and honestly, Saintly Comic, he's looking to go in. He is doing a ton of damage solo against this Nasus right now.
Oh, and with a lead of more than 10 CS already, that's going to be building into very, very nice items for Misericordia Cougars in the early stages. Getting down all the pressure on this Nasus is going to be very, very well executed. And oh my god, very close here from the Blitzcrank. But top path was also close in regards to a gank with Echo and Hecarim hovering around, but still a very nicely timed recall from Sadly Comic got them out of trouble.
As you said, gets to cash in on that early CS. Realizes that the wave pretty much is going to crash right back in the middle by the time he gets back. Nice hook, going to land onto Souls. Is able to blink away, but unfortunately didn't time it right, so it does take quite a bit of damage. And you don't see that. You usually don't pick Ezreal into Blitzcrank and mess up the E right away, so something Souls has got to make sure he times better. We do see Miscreant coming down here, maybe looking for a follow-up.
Yes, you have swept out the wards here in the Tri-Bush. Misfortune is very advanced, so I would think it would take much more of a misplay from King's College to be baited out from this, because they know how much the Blitzcrank can do. It would be too risky to be there, so I hope they don't stay that long in the bottom path, because Hecarim is going to be stealing out things in the rest of the jungle.
Oh, they are going to go in. Souls able to arcane shift away and flashes the rocket grab, barely surviving. But they get a summoner spell on cooldown for that Ezreal, and make it a little bit easier to gank here. We do see Voltabis doing a ton of damage to Oxen. This has been the one winning lane right now for King's College, already up 12 CS for this Echo.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well because it's usually the count effect or Miscreant going in, and it's going to be a stun back. No, it isn't. They're going to be able to escape Votabyss, even try to get some pressure back. And nothing came out of it differently from that first gank in the top lane that you had the Ghost coming out of Faintest Globe. Nothing in regards to some of the spells has been wasted so far.
Ooh, Voltabis scary there. Nearly dashes under the tower. Does have Oxen completely out of mana. You see the pings going off. Faintest Globe actually was able, thanks to that early back from Saintly Comic and a teleport used by the Nasus, he is now up in levels. He will hit level 6 before this Olaf. So something to keep an eye on here. As you see, Miscreant is coming up. There is a ward there, though, that he's going to walk over. The Faintest Globe, will he be able to turn around in time? Undertow's going to hit. He'll use the Ghost, but the Undertow slows are simply too much. The Wither, not enough. And it's first blood for Saintly Comic in the top side.
Axe finishing off. Saintly Comic now building that advantage even more. Echo and Hecarim are following around, but I don't know if they have the manpower to be able to do something back.
Hecarim's going to charge in, jump on top right of Miscreant. There's the dash for Voltabis, and they'll at least get one back. 1-1, great job, and now immediately rips the teleport mid to get back. Doesn't want to lose too much CS. It's a great response by the side of King's College to not lose too much on the top side.
I agree. I think that was super well executed there. You have that TP so well timed as well. Coming back, not losing any of those minions while the wave was pushing. Of the replay here with the first gank with Miscreant going into the top lane, the finish off from the Olaf, and then again the comeback and the counter gank from Votabyss and Christian getting another kill counter.
Bot lane for Misericordia has been doing a great job pushing. He's got about a 10 CS lead for Mist, and really making this it so this Ezreal cannot roam many places. And honestly, for the first 7 minutes, I feel like this game's sort of what we expected, right? SoFchan, they've done everything in their power, has Misericordia to shut down the Nasus, and other than that, King's College has basically just kind of survived the fight and tried to counter gank when they can.
Yeah, and you have this Echo so confident as well by his ability to roam. They have finished up the tier 2 boots. That's going to be all they need. They already have the level 6 as well. But Saintly Comic is going to use from that early power. They haven't popped in Ragnarok yet, but they might as well do it soon because there's a lot of damage that can come out of it.
Oh, they land the stun onto Ox, and here comes Christian as well. Devastating charge, baits out the flash. The ult comes in with the stun under tower range. And they full commit. They at least get one. Voltabis able to flash away. Miscreant uses the Cataclysm. So a full commit ends in a 1-for-1. A fantastic ult there by Oxen to land the stun under tower range. Meanwhile, Saintly Comic decides to back off. Thought maybe he could have found the kill there, but wants to turn away and make sure he doesn't overcommit.
That was so lovely by Oxen as well. I think that it was just what they needed, because if you are fighting against both Abyss as Echo, already on a 2, oh no, bot lane, you have bullet time going in, but missing out on souls. They're gonna be spending and just waiting for that blink as they managed to get away nicely. I think that was very well timed.
Sketchy Pepperoni has done a great job. That's like the second or third time we've at least seen on camera that he's been able to land it. Ragnarok gonna be popped though. They want to run down Faithless Globe. Meanwhile, we got to fight in the bot lane here as well. Fury of the Sands going to be popped. The axe misses, and that means Nasus gets away. Meanwhile, Christian trying to run down. The Onslaught of Shadows going to come out. Lands the Fear onto Sketchy Pepperoni. And with that pathing, that should be enough for the kill, and it is. Christian picking one up on the bottom side of the map.
If only that Misfortune had the bullet time, but you had such a nice dodge coming out from Souls in that engage earlier from Blitzcrank that you wasted out your ultimate. You don't have that to be able to follow up and protect Sketch Pepperoni in this engage with the jungler, so unfortunately it's going to be another kill here for King's College. Or who got it? Oh yes, was the Hackrim here. So far no kills for the bot side, only assists, but it's gonna be building up. You're keeping up with CS in the bot side. Mid lane, you have somewhat similar jungle as well. The big difference, Fish, has to be that top lane. How much the Olaf has been able to put out so far is amazing.
Yeah, this has been... I was expecting they were going to need more help top side, but they are going to jump right on top of Mist with the True Shot Barrage into the Nature's Grasp. What a combo for the kill. We do see Bolt Abyss coming down. Will they attempt a tower dive? Miscreant, meanwhile, is top side, though. Christian hanging out just below that blue buff in case they attempt a tower dive. This could even be a fantastic bait here for Faintest Globe. Gets caught in the Cataclysm. No flash available, however. And the Hecarim not even going to stop killing the Gromp to come out and help his poor dog in the top lane. So Nasus goes down.
And Christian has arrived as well. There's the Herald popping into the turret. Wait, that was so close. The target from the turret almost took down that Jarvan. But Fish, I was low-key laughing here because I saw the Cataclysm going onto Nasus and then Nasus popping out the ghost. I was like, that's not a flash, dude. That's not a flash. Where are you going to run to? And there we have it again. A nice position from Miscreant going in, getting more pressure again in the top side. That's going to help quite a lot because when you have an Olaf online, it's going to be helpful for mid-stage fights, for sieging, split pushing, anything in between. They don't have a TP, so that's not something I would expect from them that much, but still, if you need to do damage on turrets and try to get attention to the other side of the map, you can do it with the Olaf.
The other thing is Olaf can do, as we see right now, he can run down Faintest Globe. This Nasus cannot even get close to try and CS. And with all this advantage, it looks like it will be a Dragon Star. If a Christian coming down here, Devastating Charge is going to land. A nice Onslaught of Shadows onto 3, gets the triple fear. Boltevus picks up 1. Soul's going to pick up a 2nd. Christian trying to run away. Miscreant going to flash over the wall and smite him down. Meanwhile, Soul's flash forward. Oxen's got no mana. True Shot Barrage just misses, finishing him off. So it's just a 2-for-1, but they do deny the Dragon from going over to Misericordia.
I think that's very nicely done there because you have to focus on what's important right now. It was getting to that Baron, getting to that Drake, excuse me, when your opponent was already there. So you had a 3-stack, and then you go in with the Echo, get the stun alongside the Hackrim, just pushing people with the ulti, and then that's going to be a lot of room for your ADC to display the damage, display the True Shot Barrage, hitting everyone they could. In this case, they ended up going for Oxen, but top off is going to be once again to use the ulti, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Olaf takes yet another kill, now 2-0-1 with 30 CS ahead.
This poor Nas just getting absolutely run down by the angry barbarian, man. Absolute insanity. This is what they wanted, though, right? Something we talked about in the draft as soon as Nasus was picked, and we kind of got over our initial shock, was this is how you beat Nasus. Don't let him CS, and it's been a perfect demonstration for Stanley Comet.
Yes, it has been. Miscreant has joined here in the top lane again, but the TP is going to be dropped as well, probably by Faintest Globe themselves. Yes, there we go. Nasus back into their lane, trying to stack some more, trying to get some farm, but mid lane is going to be 1v1 again.
Abyss just doing a ton of damage. Meanwhile, Faintest Globe is back, and Faintest Globe, you probably should just never have left the fountain as Miscreant kills him. Meanwhile, bot side, we do see a True Shot Barrage miss, and they're just bullying this poor